Take on this, Bob. In Beijing, China, where she was over there to broker a deal on any future borrowing that we might do from China by way of bonds, treasuries. And, well, there's a little caveat that was thrown in this. If the United States defaults on this, and we're talking trillions of dollars, that there's a little thing that the United States government will institute called eminent domain to pay the Chinese back with real estate. Have you heard anything on this, Bob?
Oh, yes. And it's possible and it's probable.
As the president,
let me explain right away, in case everybody's not on point about what's going on so far. Saying that the United States took out a loan from China, told China as collateral, we'll give this country. And all the manifestations on the soil, that include the people, the animals, every damn thing. So I guess China gave them some money according to this crack of bullshit. It's always bullshit, but it could be true. I hate to tell you that because the American citizens have allowed so much stuff to happen because of their ignorance through religion and all kind of other foolish stuff that's in their head and keeping them on stagnant, mostly hate that was triggered and sprung from religion. All gave the opportunity for something like this to fester and really get a good shot at growing to the sun. Well, it's really growing good. You got Obama in there with them. You know what I mean? We don't know if they're human or alien reptiles. You don't know. But all we know is that they love to cloak themselves in white faces. All the soldiers that's coming in from China look white. All the soldiers that's already been here and everything, the police from Mexicans to blacks all want to look white. Everything about decay, let's be white, 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 white. So now the white people in America, along with the black people that want to be white, proving that by wanting to worship a white God, sitting their ass up now getting ready to possibly be invaded by all these other white countries around the planet. Now, one thing at least about China, not that it's in our favor that they Muslims, but at least they ain't Christians. That's what I was going to say. You know, I mean, believe me, I know in my heart how that's not going to be much of an advantage, but it's definitely an advantage because at least they wear the same type of hat I wear. I can see that synonymous already, but I'm just joking right there. But they do wear the same type of hat. I mean, they really do. That ancient Kemetic people wore. They took that from the ancient Kemetic people. That's really the truth of the source of that, the origin of that hat. And so, back to the point, the Chinese people, they claim is coming to claim American soil. I guess parts on the West Coast, as they claim that Russian soldiers will be coming into the American soil from the East Coast. Now the funny thing about it all that I like to point out to everybody is that why they're doing this coming in stuff, we don't seem to have a military who's going to give or offer any opposition to them, which pretty much would suggest that the American citizens are on their own. See, you white people got to understand something. If these Russian soldiers and these Chinese soldiers and whatever soldier from Europe or wherever abroad comes in here without the United States military stopping that advancement, it means that the United States military put on those uniforms and are actually the people that's making that advancement on you. So that means, again, your government is your biggest criminal. Okay, you're looking at your biggest criminal right there. All right, and I hate to say that, but it's really the truth. All this stuff was not something that was already formatted and laid out years ago with an elaborate plan. How true is it? I don't know. But if it is true, all the things that I'm saying to you must be said and taking accountability for it, and something for you to register with and have a good ideal of thought based on in your mind. Now these people are coming here to murder people and take their homes. In World War II, that's what they did. They went into Germany to the homes of the people that they felt were not responsible. And what I mean by not responsible is that they didn't have a use for them. So they literally threw them out of their dwellings, put them on vehicles, took them to a designated area, and forced them to remain there until they got around to killing them. Now, we all know that there's concentration camps all over this country. Everybody know that. Now, the black people more than anybody, the melanated people who being known as niggas, all right? Now listen, first off the top, y'all ass is going in there first. Real simple. Thing is, when they get here, they're not going to sit around and waste a lot of time about not trying to get at the black women. That's what they want. And the babies, because see, it's food. It's a very valuable commodity. So y'all going to be walking around there with y'all pants sagging off y'all asses and can't run. And them soldiers going to swoop up on y'all asses and load you up, take you where you're going to be taken to, and it's going to be over. Because you're not going to be walking around here with this same bullshit that the devil white man enticed you to do, thinking you're going to get away with that when you got people from other countries coming over here that's getting ready to open back up all those job-producing facilities that was deliberately closed down to make your dumb ass be a failure. I've been trying to tell you that. You won't listen. You're too busy trying to kill me all the damn time. So when these Russians and these Chinese people and whatever people come from Europe, they all just gas together. They're not going to care about shooting your ass down and raping your woman. They're going to be able to walk through your streets and do anything they want because the police is giving them the permission to. Otherwise, they wouldn't be coming here and just having a free walk around without the military shooting guns at their ass or the police or somebody. So they own this land. I mean, they own the people on it. And I mean that all these jails they built and concentration they built, they planned on all this happening. So we all might as well get ready to deal with that and understand that to be so. And remember that I told you, we have a federation of starships that was here to regenerate this earth. That's why I'm here. I told you all that, and I gave you an opportunity to buy the green light, but I'm stupid and retarded, and I don't have no damn sense, so you guys decided you wouldn't buy it. So don't think that I'm going to be trying to see a reason to want to keep you around, because your spirituality is not fit for what is necessary to regenerate this earth and get it back to a God calibration. So all this stuff right here is stuff that I can use, because the earth and the wars and the famine and the drought and the heat and the tornadoes and all the earth changes that's going to go down with like water and all the shit that's going to happen. It's all going to happen simply because the people consciousness is way too low. And they've allowed themselves to sink so low that when God offers help to them to get them out of their solution and extend all kind of honesty of true self-identity and give you things of wonder in the sky and all the stuff that you was looking for your white ass Jesus to come and do, he never showed up. And me being the one that was sent to do it, you rejected me. And the reason why is because you're some seasoned warmongers. And you get mad at me for saying that to you, but this is nothing new to you. You've always lived lives where you invaded each other and murdered each other. So you're just reenacting what your genetics allow you to keep reincarnating to do over and over. So the black people who want to be white also incarnated because they like riding outside and being able to live the same extremities that they want to roll on right now again. So you guys keep making this cycle repeat. That's why this time is going to be eradicated and everything is going to be dissolved into small soul aggregates that's going to be put into arenas of self-impressions where they can create their own hell. And it will be hell because you chose not to want to have anything to do with the opposite of that. If you would have wanted the opposite of that, then you would have made that be known by doing something collectively about the inquiring of these concentration camps. Fact is, nobody thinks it's for me, and the people who, like me, would have done something about it. You all keep broke, and you're going to say, well, how could you say we keep Well, because see, that was the plan. And all the jobs that you go out there looking for is like, no, unless you're Mexican. And see, that's all to it. But see, now the Chinese is here, and the Russians, and they aren't going to care about you being a Mexican. It's going to be like, unless you're Chinese. So see, that's how life has a way of bringing that spiral to you that I've been talking about. So let's go and take a look at this. But know this, white people, if you see all these foreign occupancies going down without your government giving any type of military stagnation to it, it's because your government has put on these uniforms and is doing it to you themselves.
Began their first session, Mr. Obama assured Mr. Xi that the United States welcomes the peaceful rise of China as a world power.
And the United States seeks an international economy and international economic order.
Over there kissing ass.
Warships from the East China Sea Fleet of the PLA Navy have arrived in the Western Pacific Ocean to conduct.
See, I want you to look at her facial features and see how European as possible. The Europeans have taught the whole world to try to mimic them. Do you see? See that? Okay, let's move on.
Maritime drills. The two warships, Foshan and Huaihua, are first and the second generation missile frigates. The exercises are their first blue water training drill. Earlier, the warships conducted a series of mock exercises during its voyage to the Western Pacific Ocean that covered surveillance and tested nighttime capabilities.
See, I'm going to tell you like this. Obama can't give China permission to invade nothing. While the Russians are doing it on the East Coast too. It's bigger than Obama. You know that. Because see, you didn't hear nobody having no talk with no cabinetry about him doing that, or even addressing the American public about doing that. So, you know, we all going to have to wake up and don't be trying to point the finger at Obama and see this for what it's worth. You got China and Russia and all those Germany countries and Canada, all of them got together now and used all the money from religion and all the stupidity that everyone has been involved with and build one new world order. What they've been talking about.
敢于担当，在极难险重任务面前当先锋、打头阵，才不愧为李向群当班长。
Which means they all get over here and fight each other anyway. Russians fighting Chinese, it's just crazy. All this foolishness. Nazi shit again. That's all it is. Albinism. Look at the pigments all missing. Look at all of them. See if they don't have the synonymous white ass, evil, devil ass faces. Rubber tires for city. Urban. It's urban cities. That's what it is. And they look white as hell. That's why I tell you, albinism is a disease.
Friday prayers at Beijing's most famous mosque. It may not match the majesty of Mecca, but this is still the most important place of Islamic worship in the Chinese capital. More than 12,000 Muslims make their way to Saudi Arabia to take part in this year's Hajj, the world's biggest pilgrimage. Many of the Beijing Muslims who couldn't make it to Mecca came here, or to the more than 50 other mosques scattered across the city.
I'm inside Niujie Mosque. It's the oldest mosque in Beijing. It's a focal point for the capital's Muslim community. Like other mosques across China,